Hi everyone, it's Brittany, and today we are going to be doing something a little bit different. I have decided to do a video series all about choosing to be aware of yourself as I am, your true nature. And there's lots of different things that come up when we decide to identify with our true nature and drop the character. So this first video that I'm going to be doing is all about the fear of letting go of the character. So I have many people that are choosing to identify as I am, as their true nature. And these things start to come up, these fears, these questions, these concerns. Well, what will my life look like after I identify as source? What will my life look like after I drop this character? What happens to the character? Do I give up everything? Do I give up enjoying the aspects of her life that I like right now? And while all of these questions are valid, they're all irrelevant. They all come from the character. So I want to share a conversation that I had with one of my clients that I think will be helpful for you guys to hear. So one of my clients that I've been working with for a little while now is choosing to completely drop identification to this character and fully identify as her true self, as God, as I am, as source, this infinite being. So at first, when she started choosing to be aware of this, it seemed pretty simple for her. Yes, the character would come back and say things like, hey, what about your desires? Where does that fit in? What's going to happen when you stop identifying with this character? You're not going to get what you want. How do you think you're going to get what you want? That makes no sense. So, of course, she understood that those thoughts were going to happen and they're normal and they come from this character. So she didn't really bother much. But then she reached out to me saying that she was experiencing this intense anxiety and fear. And it was really strange for her because she hadn't felt like this in a really long time from her perspective. So we started speaking and she told me what brought this anxiety on. She said she woke up in the middle of the night, almost like she was woken up out of a deep sleep, and her mind was racing about all of these fears and worries. You have been identifying yourself with source, but what about the character? What about the whole reason you've gotten into this in the first place? How are you going to continue to live your life? What's that going to look like? Are you just going to stop feeling? Are you going to have no emotions? How is this going to be? Do you really want to give this up? Do you really want to give this life up? And she said it just kept going and going and going. And she reached out to me the next day and she said, I'm really scared that I'm doing something wrong. I'm really afraid that something that I've done here is causing all of this fear. And she said, I don't think it's fear that I won't get what I want, because I've gotten to a place where I'm kind of accepting that not only do I know I will get what I want, but even if I don't know it, I'm still okay. I'm still going to be okay. And she's like, so I had come to terms with the fact that whether I get it or not, I'm still going to be okay. And that's a great place to be in, absolutely. But that's not where the fear is really coming from. The fear, and no matter what your mind is going to tell you, it could tell you that you might not get what you want. It could tell you that you might disappear. It can tell you that you're going to live a very melancholy life. It can tell you that you're never going to feel motivation or drive for anything or anyone ever again. It will present all of these different ideas to you under different, under different avenues and different ways that it will present itself to you. But the truth is, underneath all of those ideas, there's only one reason why you're feeling this fear. And that is the character's fear of not existing. That's what all of it comes down to. So when you choose to identify as the source and you stop identifying with the character, that is you no longer feeding energy to this character. When you stop identifying, you're not feeding energy to the character. And your energy is the life force that animates these characters. It animates your entire life experience. It animates all forms. So when you're removing identification to the character fears not existing. It can feel the energy being pulled out. It knows that it's no longer valid, and it's going to do everything that it can to bring you back. And if it doesn't work by testing you with, you're never going to get your desires, you're not going to have what you want, this isn't going to work for you, and you don't take the bait, it's going to go in other ways. It's going to bring up different things. And we have to choose to be aware of what's going on. Ultimately, that's all that it ever is. You, as I am, as the source, do not fear, do not question, do not doubt. You, as I am, are pure, infinite knowing. Pure, infinite knowing. There is no uncertainty. There is no doubt. There's no confusion. You just know. You just exist. You just are. That is who you are. So when those concerns and those fears and those questions come, I know that they're intense. They can feel very intense. And yes, they are experiences. I'm not invalidating your experiences, but please understand they're illusions. They're traps. They're tricks. So I explained this to her, and she was so relieved to know that it wasn't her. She wasn't doing anything wrong. But not only that, I essentially allowed her from me, by the way, which is simply just a form of her, I allowed her the permission to just be okay with it, to fully allow it. And so she was like, okay, that's all I needed to know. I just needed to hear that from you. And I said, you really didn't. You didn't need to hear it from me. I'm happy to remind you. But remember, this is all just you experiencing yourself. So please understand that you will not lose yourself when you choose to stop identifying with this character. In fact, that couldn't be any further from the truth. What actually happens is that you drop all of the illusions, you drop all of the limitations, all of the limiting beliefs, all of these apparent blocks or traumas or past or whatever else it is that seem to be getting in the way of your character getting what they want. And you are left with who you really are, which is perfect, whole, complete, fulfilled, love, abundance, success, happiness, health, beauty, beyond your wildest dreams, beyond what this character could ever fathom. So, in fact, you do not lose yourself. You actually, probably for the first time in your life, experience yourself in the most real, authentic, raw, natural way. And it's beautiful. It's incredible. I can't even explain it in words, to be honest. It is such a freeing, loving experience. And I really want to point out one last thing, because I think many people, what we really want is to live a life of freedom and security and love, knowing that no matter what happens, no matter what we're presented with, we are always safe. We are always loved. We are always free. And the only way that you can ever experience a life of absolute freedom, absolute love, absolute safety and security at all times is by dropping identification to the character. Because truly, no matter what identity you choose for your character, we can think of the most upgraded, glow up version of your character. It is still limited. It is still limited by that identification. And you will find yourself continuing to search for this freedom, look for this safety and security and love. Even if you choose the most, loved, abundant, wealthy, free version of your character, you're still limited to that character. So when life happens, as it does, and things present themselves to you that contradict that character's identity, you lose yourself in that experience. You don't know who you are because you've based your identification off of an illusion that doesn't even exist. So when you drop identification to the character, even though the character fears its non-existence, the funny thing in that is that it never existed in the first place. So I can promise you that this choice and identifying with your true nature and dropping identification to the character, it's not for everybody, and that's okay. And ultimately, one way or another, everyone will eventually have this experience. I truly believe that. But you might not be ready, and that's fine. That's okay. I'm not here to force you to fully change the way that you view yourself in your life if you're not ready for that. But those that are, those that know they've been doing this for a while and it feels like the same loop over and over again, maybe getting better and better as they go, but still feeling like the same cycle where, okay, cool, I got this thing, I got that thing. Now what? Now what am I striving for? Now what do I have to do? Now what work needs to be done? And we're dropping all of that. We're not doing that anymore. It can feel very uncomfortable when that's not the way that we've lived our lives. But I can promise you, if this is what you're here for, you will want to continue to watch this video series because this is all we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about all of your concerns and questions, although as I already told you, they don't come from you anyways, but I'm happy to bring them to light and to discuss them so that you understand without a shadow of a doubt that even when your character doubts, it's not you. You don't attach your sense of self to that character's doubts. Okay, so I'm going to end this here. Like I said, this is going to be a series of videos. So the next one will be related to this as well, but it's going to be another topic. So thank you so much for being here with me today. I hope you all have been doing amazing. I've missed you. I've just been living my life as I tell you all to do. So I've been enjoying myself, enjoying time with family and friends, and I just wanted to come on here and share this with you guys, and I'm excited to see you in the next video. Hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I love you all.